All right, today we are diving deep into one of the most intense and honestly devastating stories ever told, the Great Flood, as laid out in the 7th chapter of Genesis. We're going to go through this step by step to really see how this world-changing event is described in the text.
So right from the start, the story hits you with this statement of absolute finality. This makes it clear. This is not just some storm. It's a deliberate, conscious act of wiping the slate clean. This one sentence just sets these massive, world-altering stakes for everything that's about to happen.
So, with the fate of the world pretty much sealed, the camera, so to speak, zooms in on this single point of hope. One man, Noah. And the chapter doesn't kick off with chaos and panic. Nope. It begins with a very precise, almost logistical set of commands for survival.
But why Noah? Why him out of everybody? Well, the text is incredibly direct about it. It says that among an entire generation of people, the reason he's chosen, the reason his family is saved, is singular and powerful: his righteousness. It's that one quality that sets him completely apart from the rest of the world.
And the instructions he gets are so specific, they're like a blueprint for preserving all of life. You see this clear distinction being made: 7 pairs of what are called clean animals and birds, and that's likely for things like food and sacrifices later on, and then just 1 pair of all the unclean animals. So this wasn't just some random grab bag of creatures, it was a really carefully curated ecosystem, all designed for a brand new beginning.
Okay, so with the instructions laid out, a clock starts ticking. The whole story shifts into this tense countdown, marking the final 7 days before the old world is literally washed away.
And this last week is just a flurry of methodical activity. Noah doesn't wait around, he gets right to it, gathering this incredible menagerie of animals, day after day. And then, on day 7, as the very last creatures walk up that ramp, everything is finally in place. You can almost feel the whole world just holding its breath.
And right in the middle of this epic, almost mythical story, the text gives us this very specific, personal detail: Noah's age. He was 600 years old. Now, in the timeline of Genesis, people had these incredibly long lifespans, so a number like that signifies immense experience and wisdom. It just adds this sense of ancient gravity to the man at the center of the storm.
This line is so powerful. It's such a poignant detail. After all of Noah's hard work, all the building and gathering, the final act of sealing the ark isn't his to do. The door is shut from the outside. This act signifies a total separation, a divine intervention that both protects everyone inside and, at the same time, seals the fate of the entire world left behind. So, the ark is sealed, the countdown is over, and the story's tone shifts completely, from this quiet preparation to just deafening devastation. The flood doesn't just start, it erupts with this terrifying clockwork precision. And again, the text is just so specific here. It's not, one rainy day. No, this event is recorded with the precision of a historical log entry: the 600th year, the 2nd month, the 17th day. This detail frames the whole cataclysm not as some timeless myth, but as a dated moment in history.
And this is absolutely crucial. The flood that's described isn't just a really bad rainstorm. The text shows a two-front disaster. You have water pouring from the floodgates of the heavens above, while at the same exact time, it's erupting from the springs of the great deep below. It's like the very foundations of the world are coming undone from both directions.
And here it is, one of the most iconic numbers in the entire Bible: 40. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain is just relentless. That number, which so often comes up in periods of trial and testing, really establishes this overwhelming first phase of the deluge.
So after that initial 40-day storm, the story's focus shifts to the result: a planet completely overwhelmed by water. This next part really details the sheer power of the flood and its absolute, totalizing impact on the earth.
And it's at this point that the ark completely transforms. What was once a stationary refuge, sitting on the ground, is now lifted up and set afloat. The ground itself just disappears beneath it, turning this vessel into the lone survivor on what is now a new, global ocean. The scale described here is just staggering. The text leaves absolutely no room for doubt. It's not just some valleys or lowlands that are flooded, but all the high mountains under the entire heavens. It paints this picture of a truly global topographical reset. And then the text adds this specific measurement, just to hammer home the scale. The water rose more than 15 cubits, that's roughly 22 feet, or about 7 meters, above the peaks of the highest mountains. This little detail makes it crystal clear there was no high ground left. There was absolutely no escape.
So the result of this total submersion is the total annihilation of all life on land. The text just systematically lists everything that was wiped out. All mankind, all the birds, livestock, wild animals, every single creature that moves upon the earth. The verdict is absolute.
In this one statement, it brings all that immense destruction into this sharp, stark focus. After listing everything and everyone that was lost, the narrative ends the thought with this simple, almost chilling contrast. In a world full of death, one single vessel of life remains.
Finally, we get a sense of the full duration of this thing. And it's important to remember, while the rain lasted for 40 days, the waters themselves dominated the entire planet for 150 days. That's 5 months. Just try to imagine floating on a world made of water for 5 solid months, with not a single speck of land in sight. And that brings us to the end of the chapter. A world has been totally unmade, submerged for 150 days, with only a single ark left floating. And it leaves us with this huge pivotal question. What kind of world would even be left when those waters finally went down?